going forward from 2020 on, I believe what's going to happen in America and around the world, things are going to change drastically. I mean, dramatically change. We are experiencing some of the most difficult times in our most recent nation's history. And as a result, we're coming together and we're working through solutions. But then what's going to come out on the other end are new industries that will emerge as a result of this. And what we're looking at today is some of the things that I believe are going to be accelerated in terms of their development, in terms of their investment by the investment community to help facilitate what's going to be the new social distancing world that we're going to live in. So again, things like driverless everything, right? Can you imagine if you get out and you request an Uber or you request a Lyft or a rideshare service, and now the car comes up, there's not a person in it, it takes you to your destination, and that supports social distancing. I also think that the government is going to implement new social distancing regulations. So when we talk about going into restaurants, like we have ADA compliance, I can see them implementing rules and regulations related to social distancing. So again, we're going to look at social distancing clothes, social distancing apps. There's already a company called Dating.com that's raised $50 million in investments for their new social distancing app. Restaurants, same thing we talked about, right? They're going to have to meet new compliance and rules and regulations. So that's going to create opportunities for people to have to renovate and retrofit restaurants to comply with these new regulations. Micro manufacturing. We've already, the world is being exposed to our weaknesses of not having manufacturing facilities in the United States, and that we have yielded control of that industry to someone else. And in fact, I was reading an article today where one of the persons that worked at Google, he said, if I were in a tennis match, I would say advantage goes to the virus. So I can see micro manufacturing spurring up where we can actually do real-time manufacturing, so just-in-time manufacturing, where we produce the item as we need it in hotspots around the country. LMS, learning management systems, right? All of the online learning courses, education, right? That allows us to be in the comfort of our own home or in a setting, environment that doesn't require an in-person contact or a teacher of any kind of form. So again, I see that industry growing and developing. Telehealth and telemedicine, they're already, the industry exists, but it was kind of neutral and it wasn't on a growth pattern, but we can see that industry being accelerated tremendously. Obviously, mental health, with all of us sitting home, we are, as humans by nature, social animals, social creatures. So again, I know that we're going to get bogged up sitting home, and that's going to create anxiety for a lot of people, causing them to be ideas for startups related to mental health. Ghost kitchens, right? So ghost kitchens where they're creating kitchens that prepare meals for everybody and distribute them out. The guy from Uber is already leading the chase on that. He's already raised a substantial amount of money, and they're light years ahead of everyone in terms of development of ghost kitchens. Virtual collaboration, everything, right? We already are seeing people sharing on social media, on their posts, how they're working with their virtual teams online using software tools like Zoom. But I can see, again, the invention and the development of other tools and resources and software around that industry, right? I can see that exploding as well. Robot services, as you can imagine, right? We're going to do robot everything. It's really what I want to call this, robot everything, because again, what happens? A robot is not a person. And so I can see there being more likelihood of robot services. We already are doing that in some of the manufacturing facilities. A lot of them already have robots. Microsoft has been working on robot software for probably 30 years. So it's right after they started taking off, they're working on robot software. A lot of companies are already working on that. And then online conferences and events. We already have seen, I know Air Force Works did an online conference and event in response to having to cancel their actual showcase. So again, I can see there being a lot of companies developing software and tools to help promote more online conferences and events. So again, there's no reason for people to panic and to think that just because they don't get to ride a horse anymore, that the car is not a better alternative. There will be new ways that we interact with each other. There will be new ways in which we do business. But instead of sitting back and saying, okay, I'm helpless, let's take a look at some of these areas and find areas in which you can create opportunity for yourself. So I'll give you one quick example before I go, and because I know of the situation, it's personal to me. But for example, Maria, our research specialist, her mom works at a hotel, and obviously, well, maybe not obviously to you guys, but being under quarantine, everything is closing down, and her hotel is closing down. At the same time, we taught her how to sew the mask so that she can actually give something productive and be able to generate income for herself. So again, there are creative ways out there in which you can alternate your same skills and apply them into a different industry respectively. And so again, I'm just having conversations, just sharing my information, the stuff that's on my brain this morning, rattling off, and I'm like reaching out to you guys and talking to you, because what I found, and I say this all the time in my videos, right? The more that it seems like I share, the more that I give, then I get the creative juices flowing in your brains, and maybe something I said, something I touched on, you already know someone. Let me step to the side. You might already know someone who has some sort of startup on that mode that you can try, experiment, develop out a platform, test it, see if it works, and then, you know, if it doesn't work, go back to the drawing board. So again, we're going to be in the space of where we're going to be doing a lot of experimentation, right, to see what works and what doesn't work. And then again, what they say, you want to fail fast and learn quickly. So again, just sharing some thoughts this morning with everybody. Hope that this helps spark some imagination, some creativity. And again, if you've got something on your brain that you want to share, let me know.